Peace and blessings, everybody. It's me, by Can, aka Rogue Spiritual, aka M Shell, aka Rogue Forever. And if you hear noise in the background, that's my coffee brewing. I'm right next to my coffee. So, getting to the meat of the matter, I just finished recording a song and I dropped it within 2.5. It's on the OutKast Southern Playalistic on Freestyle, and the remix title was is within a hook. It's called Cuchi Frito Vision Ground Pyrex Ground Provision Music. Now, there's a story behind this song, okay? Like, of course I made it fun because I ain't nobody want to be serious all the time. I hear all these motherfucking sob stories and shit. So basically, here it goes. I actually grew up hating my own people. When I say hating my own people, I grew up hating Puerto Ricans for all of it. First it started with the evil family members. The evil family members that try to project hate, trying to make me hate other Latin ethnicities or whatever the case is. Sometimes I too discuss it to bring the specifics up, but you already know the motherfucking vibes. So fuck around. It's like they try to instill that hate in me, all because they went through with whatever with other Latin ethnicities, and I'm supposed to be on their side, which made me love Dominicans and Mexicans and Hondurans and all that even more because I was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your problem. That's a you problem. And fuck around if that person wasn't Dominican, this and that, or Cuban or whatever the case is, it would have been a Puerto Rican doing this shit to you. Would you say the same thing? I don't think so because you love your own people so fucking much that you are blinded by hate. You are blinded by motherfucking hate. And it's like, my people swear that you're only Coca-Cola walking in a motherfucking desert. But you go to the rest of Latin America, who doesn't favor Puerto Rico, is not really safe to bang or guepa and all that shit, bitch. A lot of Latin countries do not favor Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico sold themselves to the government crying white, this and that, which brings on to the next subject within this subject. Like I grew up to hating my people. Hating my people, which is Puerto Ricans that cried white. Okay, fine, you left me at home taking care of mommy and daddy. So you can reach your corporate American dream. But now in the process of it, you fuck around and sell Wella. You sold Wella for a white dollar just to be a token in corporate America, and you can't even change the fate of our people. So basically, how can we count on you if you sold your fucking Wella, if you sold Wella for a white dollar, and you can't even help us because you're seen as a token in corporate America. You're seen as, yeah, you're eating the lobster, the shrimp, or whatever the case is, but for your corporate American dream, that was just more built with sand. For your corporate American dream, you dismissed your Spanish roots. You sold Wella for a white dollar. You literally walk past us, your family. When you're in the corporate spaces or whatever the case is, we say hi, you say nothing. You turn your motherfucking head and shit like that. But you eating lobster and shrimp or whatever the case is, and you literally dismiss I don't go to habichuela, pollo guisado or whatever just to eat fucking lobster and shrimp or whatever the case is, all for that corporate American dream that you have no control over. And you found out the hard way that corporate America is very deceiving. And you are used as a token. You are used and was seen as a token for corporate America. So corporate America can say, yes, we have diversity here. But you couldn't even change, you don't have the power to change the fate of your people, Latin America itself, all within that corporate dream. So that corporate dream that you was chasing was built with sand. Okay? And that's why I grew up hating my own people because of all that, because I learned more about my people. Now, God healed me when it came to Puerto Rico because clearly I directed all this hate to a cry whites. I directed all this hate to a cry white because that's what, if it wasn't Puerto Rican, it would be somebody else that cried white. Honestly. I direct all that heat to a cry white Latino. Nothing positive came from a cry white Latino. You already heard me explaining what a cry white is and still is or whatever, you know? So then when I was in high school, I was basically, you know, I was caught in a diaspora battlefield, but we're gonna get to that later. So I also grew up hating Jamaican men, but more so God directed my heat towards Jamaican men that was on a down low, because at one point they embrace you and another point they act funny around their homies or whatever the case is. And that's Jamaican trade for you. And then when I used to sit in the table with Ricardo Hamilton back in high school, he literally fucked my mind up. He literally scarred me about how LGBT members get raped and killed in his country or whatever the case is. And this nigga's reenacting this shit or whatever the case is. Like, he's one of them, you know? So basically, you already know what I did to Ricardo Hamilton. God took over. I knocked him out 15 years later. But he was seriously preaching his Catholic Jamaican belief or whatever the case is. And it seriously scarred me for life. You know, it kind of fucked my mind up. And I'm not even Jamaican. And then fuck around, what literally scarred me more was the fact that I was on YouTube. I wanted to see LGBT members in Jamaica. All of them are in the sewer. I'm talking about the whole LGBT is in the fucking sewer. So y'all Jamaican trade and Ricardo Hamilton. So what y'all mean to tell me is that y'all come here to my country to celebrate your queerdom, your transition, and the things off the backs of LGBT members that started and positioned our rights here in America. And you fuck around and leave your brothers and sisters behind in the fucking sewer. You see? That's why I don't have no respect for it. Like, if you want to fuck around and be in an inclusive culture, then take your brothers and sisters with you. Don't just think about yourself, which is why it's like, it's more for, I'm more for sisterhood. I'm more for the sisterhood than the trade. I seriously can't stand Jamaican trade because they think about themselves. They're a GM brother in Jamaica. They fuck around. They wind up cursing themselves out when they say Chi Mom for dad, this and that. But they come to my country that my brothers serve to get access to LGBT rights that started here in America off the expense of my LGBT folk, my LGBT people here in America that started this shit, and the expense of their brothers and sisters left in the fucking sewer. You know, you got me fucked up. And on the low, literally, now back to what I was going to say the first time, back in high school, I was also caught in a diaspora battlefield where niggas is beefing over light skin, dark skin, Spanish versus Latino, and everything in between. It was seriously an uproar the way niggas be dissing each other, reading each other, fighting each other over fucking hair texture and a chiseled nose, because that's what the Diaspora War is. Faggots beefing over hair texture and a chiseled nose. Boo-boo, there can only be one Janet Jackson. Boo-boo, there can only be one Michael Jackson on both sides of the streets. So what I need y'all monkey asses to do is to sit down, collect yourself, and listen to some India Ari, the queen of Neo Soul. I Am Not My Hair is one of them. Hell, she liberated me. And I was created from oppression. If you see my old pictures or whatever, I had nothing but oppressional hair. The fuck? And that's the Diaspora War Decoded. I mean, my intentions align with God. Like, to put an end to the Diaspora War, however, that's sort of a long shot. However, I'm going to say this, how I'm going to end it. By water, we are separated. But together, we are one big nation to rival the size of Africa. Do better, folks. Amen.